Let's bring in Montana Senator Steve Daines now, who is live with us in another country where refugees are fleeing to, and that's Poland. Senator, you're on the ground there. Give us a sense of the situation, both what you're seeing on the refugee side, but also at being in a NATO country, what the feel is.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm standing here about 2 miles from the Ukraine border. This is Mulny, Poland. This is one of the refugee processing centers. We have a delegation of 10 United States senators. It's a bipartisan delegation. Just literally looking over my phone here, I can see a young mom pushing a stroller with a sleeping baby. It's just heartbreaking to see these images, to see the reality of what's happening here with these moms, these grandmothers, grandchildren, young children, babies here coming across the border. But last night we were in Berlin. We were there at the Brandenburg Gate. I remember back in 1987, Ronald Reagan said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." And we had peace through strength under Ronald Reagan. What we have here in the United States now is a president who is really results in war through weakness. And I'll tell you, finally we're starting to see these NATO countries really standing up, like Germany, who've committed now to increasing their NATO spending. We had dinner last night with several members of basically the German Bundestag, which is their congressional section of their government. And we're really pleased to see the increasing NATO spending. They're very aware now of the threat that the Russians present. But importantly, energy security, it's critical. And it's just so disappointing to see our President Biden, who is, sends out a 37-page climate change plan about climate change refugees. I wish you could see what's going on right here. These are refugees coming out of Ukraine, and the Ukrainians were pleading with us a few months ago, you've got to stop the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. And the Germans said, we need the gas. The Ukrainians says, Putin is weaponizing energy. And I tell you what, we're seeing the sad reality now, what Vladimir Putin is doing to the poor people in Ukraine. I'm just so grateful for what the United States is doing in so many countries, providing humanitarian relief. We're seeing that right here on the ground, just 2 miles literally from the Ukraine border.
Senator, on the military side, is Europe, in your estimation, doing enough? And is the United States of America doing the right thing right now?
Well, we spent just an hour ago, we're with the 82nd Airborne, with our generals, our leaders there, about 50 miles from right here. We got a briefing this morning, what's going on. I could not be prouder, first of all, for the U.S. troops who are over here. The 82nd Airborne and so many who are here making sure they're a backstop here in the NATO forces to make sure we keep Poland and these other NATO countries secure. This goes back to peace through strength. But it's very important that our NATO allies, these European countries, are upping their NATO spending. President Trump, remember, called them out on that. And he was right. We're seeing here, he knew the threat. And they've said here in Europe, this has been their 9/11. It's waking up Europe to see the threats. There really is good and evil in the world. We're seeing that now really unfolding here before us, and the importance of a strong military. And thank God for the United States of America.
Amen. Well said. Just want to get you in on one other topic related to this, and that is the Iran deal and the talks that continue. And the White House is being criticized for the fact that they're allowing Russia to be the intermediary in those Iran nuclear talks as Russia is doing what it's doing. What do you make of that reality?
This is insanity. Iran is the leading sponsor of state terror in the world. I'm standing 2 miles from the Ukraine border here in Poland. 12 miles from here on Sunday, the Iranians, the Russians launched missiles and hit a location. The Iranians, at the same time, hit an outpost in Erbil, Iraq, where we have a U.S. consulate. We used to have a JSOC, a Special Operations Center. So the Iranians are launching missiles, and we have U.S. consulates. We have operations centers in northern Iraq. At the same time, the president is negotiating with the Iranians for a so-called peace deal. The Iranians are a nuclear threat to the world. The sanctions are working against Iran. What the president is looking to do is relieve some of those sanctions, allow the Iranian oil to flow, and that is a huge, huge mistake. So I'm firmly opposed to it. We've got to be calling this out, what's going on at the moment, because President Biden is taking us down yet a very dangerous path with JCPOA.
Why we would allow anything that would benefit Russia as well in this context is mind-blowing. Senator Steve Daines, thanks so much. Stay safe. Appreciate it.
Thank you.